Resolving forces. The process of considering the forces acting in a particular direction is called resolving. Resolving in a particular direction gives the resultant in that direction. Consider the force F. This is the force and it is an F Newton at an angle of theta to the horizontal. Then we can construct this as a triangle of forces. That is, if I draw a line like this, it comes as a right angle triangle. Here F is in the hypotenuse. So we can use trigonometry to resolve these forces in the horizontal and in the vertical direction. If we take the vertical direction as y and the horizontal direction as x, then sine theta will be equal to opposite is y and the hypotenuse is f. So then y will be equal to f sine theta. In the same way, for the horizontal component, cos theta will be equal to x over f. So x will be equal to f cos theta. Now let us see a few examples. The figure is given. 3 coplanar forces of magnitude 10 Newton, 10 Newton and 6 Newton act on a point P in the direction shown in the diagram. PQ is the bisector of the angle between the two forces of magnitude 10 Newton. First question, find the component of the resultant of the three forces. A, in the direction of PQ, in the direction perpendicular to PQ. Find the magnitude of the resultant of the three forces. This is the diagram which is given to us. The forces 10 Newton and 6 Newton act on the particle P. And the angle between these two forces is 60 degree and PQ bisects the angle. So this part of the angle is 30 degrees and this part will be equal to 30 degrees. Now if you take, we are going to resolve the forces along the horizontal direction and along the vertical direction. In order to resolve this, if we just draw a line, this is the horizontal line and this is the vertical line for this force. In the same way, for this 10 Newton also, we can just make a force over here. That one. In the same way, for the 10 Newton, we can draw a line over here. So this will be the horizontal one and this will be the vertical. In the same way, for this 10 Newton, we can make a triangle of forces like this. This one. So now to consider which direction to take, like our vectors. This is the initial point and this is our final point. In the same way, this way will be our arrow. Now in the same way here, for this also, this is our initial point and this is our final point. So arrow will be in this direction and in this direction. In the same way for this force, this way and this way. So this line is the same for both the forces. Now the first question, we are going to resolve forces vertically in the direction of PQ. That is this upward direction we are taking. So when we take the upward direction, this one is acting upward. This line is also upward. This one is downward. So this we'll take it as negative. So now when we take this angle is given as 30. So automatically this angle will be 60 degrees because this is the right angle triangle. 90 minus 30 is 60. In the same way, this is 30. So this angle will be equal to 60 degrees. When this angle is given 90, this angle will be 30 degrees. So now when we take our vertical lines, this is the opposite side and the hypotenuse is 10. So it will be 10 sine 60. So 10 sine 60 and this one also is the opposite side. So again it will be the hypotenuse is 10. This is upward. So again it will be 10 sine 60. And then this one is downwards. Again, this is also in the opposite side, downwards. So we write it as minus the hypotenuse is 6. 6 sine 30. So when we use your calculator and simplify, we get it as 14.32 Newton. Now resolving forces in the direction perpendicular to PQ. This is PQ, so automatically this force, and this way we have for 2 because for 10 Newton and for 6 Newton. So perpendicular. So we take this as our right. Right will be positive. So automatically this line will have a negative symbol. Now here when we take for this 10 Newton, this is in the adjacent side. Hypotenuse is 10. Adjacent we write it as cos. 10 cos 60. Again this is also to the right. So plus this one hypotenuse is 6. So it is 6 cos 30. This is in the left side to the opposite direction. So it will be equal to minus 10 cos 60. When we simplify this, get it as 5.196 Newton. In the second part, we are asked to find the magnitude of the resultant of the three forces. So the resultant forces we have found out in the x and the y direction, that is in the horizontal and the vertical direction. We have got that this is in the vertical direction. Vertical direction is 14.32 Newton and in the horizontal direction it is 5.196 Newton. And so now magnitude is, we need to calculate this length. This will be the magnitude of the resultant. Now in order to find the magnitude of the resultant of the three forces, we apply the Pythagoras theorem, that is square root of 5.196 square plus 14.32 square. When we use your calculator and simplify, we get it as 15.2 Newton. The second question, Winter 4, paper 4, question 2. We are given with two inclined planes. A small block of weight, 18 Newton, is held at rest on a smooth plane inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal by a force of magnitude P Newton. Find the first part, the value of P when the force is parallel to the plane. That is like the figure 1. The value of P when the force is horizontal, as in figure 2. Now in this question, we are given the block of weight 18 Newton. So the weight will act towards downward and this one is 18 Newton over here. Then the normal reaction will always be perpendicular to the plane. So this is the normal reaction R. This is always perpendicular to the plane. Now when we take this P Newton is parallel to the plane and this normal reaction is perpendicular to the plane. Only the weight has to be resolved because this is neither parallel nor perpendicular to the plane. So in order to resolve this, we just form a right angle triangle. Again, this line we draw which is perpendicular to the plane and then I draw a line over here, so which is a parallel to the plane. And then the plane is inclined at an angle of 30 degrees. So this angle will also be equal to 30 degrees. So now the direction of these lines which we have drawn, this is the starting point. So this way and this way we will be having our arrows. The block is in equilibrium. So resolving the forces parallel to the plane. So in this direction we are resolving. So this upward we are taking. So this P is in the positive direction. So we take this as P. And then this is another force which is downward. So we take it as a negative sign. And here the hypotenuse is 18. Opposite to 90 degrees is hypotenuse. And this is the opposite side. When it is the opposite side, we use sine. So it will be minus 18 sine 30. That will be equal to 0. So our value for P will be equal to 18 sine 30. That will be equal to 9 Newton. Now in the second part of the question, the force is acting horizontal. So when the force is acting horizontally, here this R is perpendicular to the plane. This P is neither perpendicular nor parallel to the plane. So we need to resolve this. In order to resolve, again make a right angle triangle over here. So when we make this a right angle triangle, now this is our initial point. So our arrows will be in this direction. This is 30. So this angle will also be 30 degrees. And then this one also we resolve it. So like this. So this angle is also 30 degrees and our direction is in this direction. Now we'll resolve the forces which are parallel to the plane. Now when we resolve the forces which are parallel to the plane, this is the one which is going up. So positive. Here we have got, here this is going down. So it is negative. So now for this is on the adjacent side of the angle. So it will be, and the hypotenuse is P. So it will be P cos 30. This is upward, so positive. Now this one is downward and this is in the opposite side. So it will be sine. So minus 18 sine 30 will be equal to 0. So P cos 30 will be equal to 18 sine 30. That is P into root 3 over 2 will be equal to 18 into half. So P equal to 18 into half into 2 over root 3. So when we simplify this, we get this as 6 root 3 Newton. If you want, you can write this as a decimal as well and get your answer. In this case, the plane is given as a smooth plane. So we are not considering the frictional force. In case if it is a rough plane, then we'll consider the frictional force also which acts on the particle. A block of mass 8 kg is at rest on a plane inclined at 20 degrees to the horizontal. The block is connected to the vertical wall at the top of the plane by a string. The string is taut and parallel to the line of greatest slope of the plane, like the diagram given. First part, given that the tension in the string is 13 Newton, find the frictional and the normal component of the forces exerted on the block by the plane. The string is cut. The block remains at rest, but is on the point of slipping down the plane. Find the coefficient of friction between the block and the plane. The weight of this block is 8 kg, which is equal to 8 Newton. And in mechanics, we don't take G as 9.8. We always take G as 10. So it will be equal to 80 Newton. And then the normal reaction, R is perpendicular to the plane. And then there is a force, and the frictional force acts against the direction of the particle, the movement of the direction. So this way, the particle has a tendency to go down. The frictional force is like this, and there is a tension in the string. So tension is given as 13 Newton. T equal to 13 Newton. So now when we take the frictional force is parallel to the plane, no need to resolve it. The tension is also parallel to the plane. And then the only force which has to be resolved is the weight. So this way and this way, this is 20 degrees. We need to find F and the normal reaction from in this question. So in order to find resolving the forces along the plane. So here we are resolving all the forces along the plane. So when we resolve, the tension is also upward and the frictional force is also upward. So it will be F plus T. And then this one is downward. So, and then the hypotenuse is 80. So it will be equal to 80 sine, and the angle is 20. Since it's in the opposite side, it is sine. So that will be equal to 0. And then our tension is given as 13. So F will be equal to 80 sine 20 minus 13. When we simplify it, we get it as 14.4 Newton. Now in order to find R, we'll resolve the forces which are perpendicular to the plane. Resolving forces which are perpendicular to the plane. In order to resolve the forces perpendicular to the plane, this force is perpendicular, and for this weight, this one will be perpendicular. This line will be perpendicular and it is downward, so we write it as negative. So it will be R minus hypotenuse is 8 and it is adjacent. So it will be 8 cos 20. That will be equal to 0. So R equal to 8 cos 20. So this will be equal to 75.2 Newton. Now in the second part of the question, the string is cut. The block remains at rest, but is on the point of slipping down the plane. We need to find the friction between the block and the plane. When the string is cut, the tension will not be there in the string. So tension will become 0. So when the tension is 0, now resolving the forces along the plane. This is in this direction. When we resolve, we have our F, that is F, and this is in the upward direction, this is in the downward direction. So it is minus 80 sine 20. That will be equal to 0. But the frictional force, it is mu r. Mu r minus 80 sine 20 will be equal to 0, which implies mu r will be equal to 80 sine 20. So mu will be equal to 80 sine 20 divided by our value for r is 75.2. When we simplify it, we get a coefficient of friction. So 0.364 will give you the value for mu, which is the coefficient of friction. The last question. A small ring of mass 0.8 kg is threaded on a rough rod which is fixed horizontally. The ring is in equilibrium, acted on by a force of magnitude 7 Newton pulling upward at 45 degrees to the horizontal, like in the given diagram. First part, show that the normal component of the contact force acting on the ring has magnitude 3.05 Newton, correct to 3 significant figures. Second part, the ring is in limiting equilibrium. Find the coefficient of friction between the ring and the rod. Now in the figure, this is the figure which is given to us. Now the weight is given as 0.8 kg. That is 0.8 g will be the weight. So it will be equal to 8 Newton. 0.8 multiplied by 10. So it is 8 Newton. When we are pulling with this force of 7 Newton, there will be a frictional force which will be acting against the direction of the pull. So this will be the frictional force. So now when we resolve our force, like this, so this way and this way, only this force has to be resolved. And then the normal and R will be the normal reaction. So now resolving the forces in the vertical direction, so upward. So this R, and then we have this one, this is also upward, R plus 7 sine 45. And then this one is downward, so minus 8 will be equal to 0. So R will be equal to 8 minus 7 sine 45. So this will be equal to 3.05 Newton. Now we need to find the coefficient of friction, resolving the forces in the direction of the rod. In this direction, that is a horizontal direction. When we take the horizontal direction, we have this F and this for resolve this line alone. So now we take this as a positive one. So that is 7 cos 45 minus F will be equal to 0. So F will be equal to 7 cos 45. The frictional force F is equal to mu R. Mu R will be equal to 7 cos 45. So our coefficient of friction mu equal to 7 cos 45 divided by R is 3.05. When we simplify it, it is 1.62. This is the coefficient of friction. Since it's a coefficient, we don't write the unit for this coefficient. Thank you.